Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Let's see, what are we seeing today? Let's go over to the J4X, check out the Swiss against the dollar, and at the same time, let's get the chat line going. That's the CAD. We were fascinated by the CAD action there yesterday, and it moved us into a conversation about how to read our charts, which was kind of neat at the same time. Oh, what did I just do there? Let's go over to that instead, like that. There we are. There's the Swiss on the Chicago Quant above, the Chicago Quant, and then below the J4X, you can see it is breaking down towards the bottom of its range, and that is basically the action we're starting to see there. It hit that trend we think they've defined themselves on. Central banks run these. It's not like the old days where it was the banks, the commercial banks and, institutions and companies, buying currencies and they were the major activity. Now it's the central banks controlling the currency markets, and you can see that it is still somewhat of a battle in the sense that, companies need, or different organizations need currency pairs. They need to buy them or sell them to import and export and so forth. But overall, the overall defined structure now is by the central banks and the treasurers of the different countries. So, whole different game. Let's check out the chat line. There we are. Quiet start for the day. We had a very active Monday, which was very interesting. I guess maybe the market's breaking the way they did made people, jump into the webinar more. We are heading for the middle of the summer now. Or not the middle of summer, the end of the middle of August, which defines the end of the summer. All right. What else can we say about that? I guess they're just rolling down, Nothing more than that. We can see here on J4X, down in here, we're getting down to the lows. You can see that. For Chicago Quant, nothing particular. It's just moving down, starting to curve a little bit, but it could glide and glide and glide. For days. It could do the little bars. Do nothing. So we'll keep an eye on that. we're underneath the weekly still from the weekly sell here. What an oscillation, huh? It really hasn't done any real damage, I guess you could say. Because you see right here, it traded up to the top of the range that we've been identifying for, over the weeks. It shifts at times. At first it started off like that. Let's see if we can bend that down a little bit. Like that. Then you could say the last 5 or 6 days it lifted through it. So then we lifted this up, like so. And you can see the bottom is there, and the bottom at one point, at the beginning of this, was like that. And that got shifted. It's almost like they're using a differential equation just to adjust it all as it slides. All right. That is the dollar Swiss. And let's see. And from there, that just gives us a flavor of what the dollar is doing right now. And the dollar, when this is going down, the dollar is going down in value. Matter of fact, I think you can see on, where is it, line 25, we've been identifying that a lot lately. The dollar index itself, the ETF part of it. And you can see here, 1 week in a sell, 4 days in a sell, so it's, totally matching up to the way the Swiss is moving. And then you can look over there and see the Swiss, it's 4 weeks in a sell, which is interesting, which shows us that it's not being swayed by the other pairs trades. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, where the euro seems to be lagging. All right, matter of fact, let's jump over to the euro and see what it looks like. And there it is right there. You can see it's playing with its range. Also, it hasn't really come down. These are a set of Bollinger Bands. Someone was asking us about Bollinger Bands, so we threw it up on there. And what we could do, we could throw our gases up there just to see how it looks, but I think I'll have to try that first because it could look really crazy. And I don't want to, clog up because John's Bollinger Bands are okay, but our math is better, so. Just is a fact of facts. Let's see now. Let's check it out on J4X. I am tempted to go back there and throw up the gas on top of it the way I'm going to show you what my little mind is thinking at the moment. This is something someone asked us to try to help them with or define. Let me see if I can. Where's it at? Is it right there? That's it right there, yeah. Okay. So, let's go to there. I'm going to show you what I'm thinking in the back of my head. It's right here. They asked us about gold. And let's switch this over for a second over to gold just for the interest sake. There it is right there. And what we did is we took we're using a gas line 7 on the weekly here. So I took a gas 7 where it has a 1 standard deviation and a 2 standard deviation. Turned off the plot 1 in it and stuck it on the bar chart itself. They were asking when gold started to play this bounce in here and went into the daily buy, or before it went into the daily buy, or I think it did that daily buy thing, and then the next day we woke up and found a different price close and a new high and a new low. They did that to oil last night, and over and out of nowhere, the brokerage houses and the clearing houses and the exchanges changed the numbers on us. So they asked if we could give a projection where this possibly could go. So I threw the gas. What did I do? I threw the gas 7, not gas line. See there, gas 7, up on the bar chart itself, and tried to give it a flavor or an idea where it could go. Last time it did it, ran up to the 2nd standard deviation, which is the blue dashed line, climbed up onto the 1st standard deviation and bounced around on it and played with it, and you can see it there like that, and did it again there, and then did it again. So that's what I'm thinking in the back of my head. In the back of his head, he's thinking of doing the same thing. Let's see, let me go back to it. Let's see, where's it at? Oh yes, I have to shift the screens. There it is. So this is what I'm thinking is take this and do the same thing and throw it on there, just for interest's sake, to see how it commingles. I have to worry about the scaling. That's why I'm not doing it instantly. But I am tempted to do it just to see. But I would just want to make sure it scales correctly and not mess everything up. So I don't want to disturb it at the moment. But I will, who knows, by the end of this webinar I might be doing it on there. Because that's the way I am. I like to do research in front of everybody. Alright, so you can see that bounce that's going on in the J4X with the euro. You can see we've been in a daily buy for, what was that, line 14, 2 full days already. So, you know, same situation there. You see they've had 2 green hinky ashies, and today we're having a little red go on there. And in our case, we have 2 green dots. We have 3 green dots overall, indicative of that volatility action that we talked about yesterday. You know, looking at some of the nuances that occur. You get a volatility, see now we've lost the, let me do this, let's give it a spinny thing. There it is. And now we'll widen it again. No, not that way, this way. And so you can see here, 5 days back we had a volatility signal, a red and a green. And then 4 days back we had a red and a green. We had 2 volatility signals back to back. You saw this thing lifting like so. You could look at J4X and seeing it way down, you know, towards the bottom of its range. And sure enough, we get a zoom to the moon Alice type of little move relative to the whole overall move, you know, that's going on there with the euro. And that's that nuance that we've talked about. There are other nuances on these charts that we don't always talk about, and we did yesterday. We went into it and really started to look at, you know, some of the things I'm always watching, but I say it during a webinar or I point it out, and then it kind of, most people just miss it. You know, they just don't grasp it. But yesterday we really took the time and discussed it, and here again is a perfect example of the nuances that we're talking about. You know, 2 days of screaming volatility signals, and then what happens? Ooh, boink. You like that word, boink? Alright. So that's it with the euro. Alright, and if anybody has a question with the euro or wants to come back to the euro later in this webinar, be my guest. I will you know, go after that again and look at it and see what else we can learn from looking at this chart. Alright, now let's go over and look at Mr. and Mrs. Cable, the British pound. The GBP, the Great British Pound. I bet people don't really think about it when they hear the 3 letters. GBP, Great British Pound. Great. It's great. Alright, you can see we went into a sell yesterday, right there. Let's put that line in. Oh, actually it shouldn't be there. Remove. We should put it right there. In the official spot. There it is right there, the official spot. Right there. And you can see the weekly, you know, it's inching around trying to get back into the buy. It is. It truly is. And at the same time, you can see the daily is jumping in this nice little tight range, not sure where to go. And it also has John's work on it. It has the first standard deviation sitting there. The bands. The Bollinger Bands. And let's see what else we got there. I guess that's about it. Now let's go check out it on J4X and see the characteristics that will tip traders off when they have to look at something and they have nothing good to look at. Go to Dukascopy and set up this on the J4X, and it will give you a very good insight to where something is going. Ta-da-da-da. You can see here the hinkies are more red than green, but look at that. It's trying right there. It's trying just like when we look at it here. It's doing that same thing like on the weekly, and it's very close and tight. The daily is going in and out. It goes into the buy, it goes into the sell. It's now moving down. You know, it's the winner chicken dinner because we're still in the weekly sell, and I think it's underneath. Is it underneath? I don't think it is. I think it's flat now. Let's see. Let's see. What is the numbers there? So right now we are 0.00004. Was 3 a few seconds ago. And so it's just on the edge. I sound like Captain James T. Kirk. Oh, there it is. 0.1 now. Almost flat out zeros across. There it is. Flat zeros across the board. Yeah, zeros across the board. Now 0.1. Oh, it's a minus now. See that? Now it's minus. Now it's a +2. That's a 0.00002. But it just had slid down to the -0.1. Now it's at 1. That's how sensitive our math. Whoa, they're blasting off again. There, it's a 0.4. Interesting. And so there's the cable. It's flirting and pushing and pushing and flirting, and it's trying to lift up. That's why we have the little greeny dots there, trying to show you that it's trying. And the more short-term signal is telling us that there's pressure on the downside. And then we look at the nuances of the tools themselves. You know, I mean, you can see lots of red dots, just like we're seeing on J4X. Lots of red hinkies. Yeah. A little, you know, it's interesting. It's a laggard, the hinkies, whereas the two stochastics that we use here, the fast and the slow, competing against each other, are really, not only are they a leading indicator, as far as I'm concerned, they're a super leading indicator. It's a very successful tool. Alrighties, where do we go from here? I know where we go. We go to the Turkish Lira. And there it is right there. Moving down, been in a daily sell for a few days here. It's been in a weekly sell since over there. And let's take a look at it on J4X. Whoop, I actually hit the button. He hit the button. Let's grab it and move it over there again like so. There it is. And let's take a look at it on J4X. I've been listening to Linkin Park. I can't get rid of the song in my head. Especially the one with Chris Cornell coming onto the stage. That's always an entertaining one. All right, and there you go. You can see the hinkies heading down, just like it is here on the Chicago Quad. You can see we are now with the Stokes all the way down to the bottom of the range. In many ways, when you look at it on the J4X, it really has that look like a reverse head and shoulder. And maybe it'll stall out here and start to bottom. Unfortunately, being in a weekly sell and a daily sell, the odds of that are a little bit tougher. But we'll see. You never know. Until the math does it. The math is the math. Now we'll drift over to the euro against the Turkish lira, right there. And as you can see there, it's been in a daily sell day ahead of time. It has been in a weekly sell weeks more, you know, not 4 or 5 weeks, but was that 2, 4, 6, 7, going on an 8th week, whereas on the dollar, it's only 5 weeks, going on a 6, so it's 2 weeks ahead of it. And that's what's so fascinating by it all, really. Middle age, what's happening? Dollar and gold moving up together, Doc. I know. It's just, well, actually, the dollar's not. The dollar's been going down. Gold has been going up. But let's investigate that conversation. Let's dissect that puppy. Okay, so there it is there. And you can see gold moving up. And then we can see the dollar index, because you can see the Swiss is moving up, not the dollar. So on a short-term basis, the dollar is going down, and so is gold going up. So there you are, moving in the opposite directions. But King Dollar is really hard to knock down. since the central banks keep it that way, Mr. Powell has to get reelected again by Herr Biden. And you know, wrong way Biden is, it's like wrong way Peabody. You know, you just don't know. He'll go right when he's supposed to go left. He goes left when he's supposed to go right. He goes up when he's supposed to go down. He goes down when he's supposed to go up. That is Biden. And so Mr. Biden is the one that chooses if Mr. Powell keeps his job or not. So, and obviously Biden's handlers are very influential. You can hear it. He says something, a couple of days later they walk it back. I think it's very fascinating. Can you imagine that? You're president of the United States. You know, at least someone should tell him he is president of the United States. I know yesterday he did claim he was president of the United States, so that's pretty cool. At least it shows that he was coherent enough to realize that. And when he says something out in public, sometimes they have to walk it back like the next day. You know, the White House has to put a statement saying, the White House puts a statement out saying, no, the president really didn't mean that. Let's see, dollar futures moving up with gold. You mean at the moment? Well, you know, I guess a broken clock can be right twice a day. But let's think about that. Gold is going up, and the dollar is moving up at the moment. So maybe somebody needs dollars. And then what will happen is remember, you want to take something down, you got to first take it up. And vice versa. Maybe they want gold to go up so they can sell it. Maybe that's what it is. But at least we're in the weekly buy, something we have not seen in a while. So that's pretty cool. Now let's see if we can figure out what's going on. I mean, let's go back to some of the other products too. I mean, there's the euro. Let's put that up there. So the euro is going down. So there's a good example of the dollar going up and gold going up. But then let's go over to the Swiss. Now the Swiss is unched right there. It was a down bar. So the dollar is going up against the Swiss right now, and gold is going up. So that's pretty cool. Now I guess what we do is we take a look at gold. Whoa, let's see what Mr. and Mrs. Gold is doing again. So there, you can see gold has peaked and is going down from its highs. So gold is actually going down at the moment compared to the currencies, because the dollar, matter of fact, I just saw the what's it called, the Swiss against the dollar, it just went plus. So the dollar is rising against the Swiss now. And we can see that the high, let's make that much more clearer. So the dollar, look how low, the high of gold is 1797.6. And right now it's trading at 1795. So it's $7 underneath its high. So can you say it's really going up or down? For the day, it's going up. For the last 5 or 6 hours, it's going down. So are you watching it tick for tick? Maybe we should put a tick for tick up there. And is it truly the dollar index moving up as the gold ticks up, or is it ticking down? Or you're watching it. Just give us an idea what's going on there. Are you watching it on a tick for tick basis or a day basis? When you say dollar and gold moving up together, is that on a daily basis or an hourly basis, or like Doc, 383, a Tesla? That's what we should do. We should define things around here as a Tesla. 369 is a Tesla. So is it one Tesla or two Teslas? So you take 369 and multiply it twice. So that would be like 2 Teslas. Is it moving in a Tesla for the day? Well, no, it's not, because you can see gold is down from the high of the day. And let's see, let's go to the other products again. Where is it at? There it is. And so you can see there, the Swiss is towards the highs of the day, whereas gold is at the lows of the day. And that's our example we always use. And then we can go look at the euro. And the euro says the opposite. Look at that. The euro is at the lows of the day, which means the dollar is the highs of the day against the Tesla. I mean, against the euro. So yeah, you're totally right when it comes to the euro against the dollar and the gold itself. Now, I guess we could say is, let's see if we're getting a quote in the ETF. Let me see if I can find that. Let's go find the ETF. There's the ETF, and you can see it's at the highs of the day. And so gold is not at the highs of the day. So the ETF's high today is 24.95, and the last trade is 24.95. So it's at the high of the day. And then when we go to Mr. and Mrs. Gold, which is right here, the high of the day is, let's widen it out and show the world. So the high of the day, like I said, is 797.6, and gold right now is trading at 1791 basically. So it is $6.60 off its high compared to the dollar index. Yeah, you know what? Against the euro it is. So you are correct. You know, we can go back and show you again. But yes, against the euro it is perfectly matched. The euro is at the low of the day, and the gold is at the high of the day. The dollar index of 5-6 currencies of the major currencies. So against that, now a British pound. Let's see what the British pound says about that. British pound's the same way too. See that? British pound is at the lows of the day, and that makes the dollars at the high of the day, but gold is $7 underneath the high of the day, which I would think $7 in gold means something, right? I mean, it's definitely, it's a good move in gold for a day, $7. I mean, it'd be one thing. Let's imagine if it was at, let's do this. Let's go over to J4X and put gold into J4X. So imagine it like right there. You got J4X trading at 1789, and I've got gold trading at 1790 right now. It's at 90 bid, 90.4 offer, right? So, and then you look at the highs of the day, it's almost $8 off the highs of the day. So it's dancing. It comes down to those central banks, how they want to keep their currency. And now in this case here, and I guess you could say, when we go over to the Swissy, which is really a really good tool of watching the dollar, it's doing almost the same thing also. Because you can see here the Swissy, and look at the what do you call that? The stochastics. You got 4 hinkies going green 4 days in a row now. And you got the Stoke popping over the top. I mean, when's the last time it was up there? Look at that. A while ago. Back in May. The Stokey is all the way up to the top. Now, let's take a peeky peek again at up top at the Swiss. Right there. The Swiss, you can see it's just like literally on the edge. It's not at its high, but it's not that far off. Now that is interesting in the sense that the high was 91.36. We'll just round it out instead of going to 3. And then that's the high. And then right now it's trading at 91.22, right, versus 36. So it's 12 pips off. So when it comes to cable and euro, yeah, it's smack dab a lot like the screaming. Does that make any sense? Am I being too crazy or what, middle age? Am I making any sense there? I think you identified the trend of the day is correct. The dollar is strong and the gold is strong. How much is it up for the day? Let's take a look at that. So gold is, let me see where gold is up for the day. The gold, let's see, gold closed, let's do this. Gold closed yesterday at, we didn't even look at that part. So gold yesterday closed at 1789.8, and right now gold is trading at 1789.8. It's unchanged. So it's unchanged for the day, really. But it did go up $8 at one point, so that's pretty cool. You know? So yeah, you're somewhat on the target there. They do have somewhat of the same trend, but not anymore. At one point or another, it must have. And I wonder, you know what I'm fearful of? As I do all that rambling, Doc rambling that I rambled about, what I'm worried about is, you know that saying I like to say? That you got to take them up to take them down? I hope they're not taking gold up to take it down even harder. You know? You know? But you know what's that, like I said, in high school, my friends used to, or I guess it was college years, they used to call my brain the screw box. They used to say something goes into it and it gets spun around like a screw and it comes out all screwy and different, but still makes sense somewhere along the line. And I have to say, I'm nervous now that you've mentioned this, that they're taking the gold up so they can take it down again. It's like, no, can't we get into a weekly buy and just go up for a while? You know, I'm worried that this might be a 3 or 4, you know, a 2 or 3 week adventure on the upside. You know what might be the signal? Here's silver. They may finally get silver into the buy over the next week, right? And that'll be, gold will have been in a buy for 2 full weeks, going on a 3rd week. And you know how things happen in threes? And then they take it down. And they sucker everybody into getting long in gold, and they clock it again. That's what's running through my brain. Does that make any sense? Oh, I hope they're not going to do that. There's so many people I know that want to see gold move up. And they're looking and they're starved for some justification of owning it. I myself look at it as a very long-term situation, so I don't look at it the same way. But a lot of people do, you know, and they really get, you know, nervous and upset. And you look on the fact check spreadsheet and you can see we keep on flirting with silver. It keeps on trying, but it's 14 weeks in a sell. Do they dare to really mess with our heads and put it into a weekly buy at the end of next week, right? Gold is 3 weeks in a buy. And then the next week, silver goes back into the sell, gold goes back into the sell, and they leave the poor public trapped again in the gold. I'm really nervous about that. And you're identifying one of the manifestations, you know. Look at it. The pairs trades are ripping with gold together at one point today. You know, so money's running in and thinking, oh, sell the dollar. It's time to sell it. Finally, gold is going to go up. Hooray! You know, and we're, you know, Robin and I are standing there going, please stay up. Please stay up. We have too many clients that look for this product to go and it won't go. And I'm thinking, oh my God, is this like another bear trap? Oh no. That's what's running through my head at this moment. Didn't think about it until you said they're moving together. And I thought, oh no, let's hope they're not trying to create a bear trap again. Yeah, I'm still on the sideline. Even though the weekly is in a buy, I feel they will sell it down one more time. I know, you know what you just did? You identified part of the bear trap that I did not see. And that's that. How many times do I say that here in the webinar? Say what you see, because I might not be seeing it. And then we take it apart and we start to realize there's more to the story. And so middle age does it. You know, middle age sees something that I didn't even think about. You know, to me it was just background noise. But now I'm starting to think, oh no, are they trying to build a bigger bear trap for the gold players? You know, I mean, remember, let me just digress into Mr. Doc's fantasy world, okay? Which is a lot of times very accurate, you know. Unfortunately, my fantasy world becomes reality. I hate that. And so, what do we know? We know Mr. Powell wants to be Fed chairman again. Okay? We know that Mr. Biden's people really want to bring in Blinder from Princeton. And at the same time, we know Mr. Powell has to keep the party line, what the Dems want. They want a weak gold. They want a strong dollar so they can spend more money. I mean, all these things line up, and it's a scary thing to see that go on. It's sick, it's definitely sick. But anyway, and now what happens? Being a free market webinar, we get in here and we talk about what we see, all of us. And no one is dumb, no one's stupid, no one is more experienced or less. They're allowed to say whatever they want, and you never know. What's that saying in the Bible about out of the mouth of babes? You never know what's going to come out of somebody that has lots of value. And here it is, middle-aged, who's a very sharp trader. Very experienced like Doc and Robin. Okay? And, comes out with something that is, spots something that we weren't even thinking about. To me, I was just cruising along reading the charts, And sure enough, this could be a bear trap for the metals market again. So, it's, we see gold in a weekly buy, but we can't get the silver in a weekly buy. And you would think, what do they say about all boats lifting, all tides lifting all boats? That's the other thing that's bothering me. Why can't silver join in? Why can't it join in? Let's see what platinum's doing. Platinum must be, let's see if platinum's joining in. No, not at all. Look at platinum. It looks like, matter of fact, platinum's down for the day. Look at that. It does not care. It does not care. It's in a sell for 3 days. It's in a weekly sell for what? Look on the fact check spreadsheet. Line 7, right? 2 above the silver that we have highlighted at the moment. It's 14 weeks in a sell. Platinum is 15 weeks in a sell. How come they all can't move together? Aren't they precious metals? Don't people care about them? Aren't they running towards some type of safety? What is that all about? So, thank you, middle age. Bringing out a pretty obvious situation. Now we're going to be, that could be literally the title for the day. Is this another bear trap for the metals market? I mean, literally, it has that look. So they start lifting some currencies. They keep the currencies in a range. They're keeping them in a channel. They're not exactly, exploding and being exciting in any particular way. So, yep, good job there, middle. You picked up some action that we weren't even looking for. You were 100% accurate. And then it starts Doc's screwbox going, his crazy mind. And the next thing you know, I start to extrapolate, what are we looking at here? And I try to use the math to tell me what I'm seeing, and is it really going to happen? It's so hard to have a math that's so accurate, and at the same time, you see it year in and year out, decade in, decade out, but I still question it. I'm always like, can it be accurate like this? And then when I back test it in the scientific side, and it back tests for like 37 million years, it's like, how many people can walk around saying they have a technical system they use on the market that has back tested as far back as 37 million years ago? That's insane. That is totally 100% insane. Insane. There's no other way of describing it but insane. And there it is. Every day we put it up there live, and we have a fact check spreadsheet over on the left side on we have an Excel spreadsheet following the historical movements of everything we're talking about mathematically every day. It is definitely different. Definitely extraordinarily different, without a doubt. Some of the most different type of things you've ever seen. And then, I don't know what else to say about that. It's just too crazy for me. But anyway, it's a fact and it's a reality. So, I can say I've seen hundreds of millions of dollars made off of it. So, I mean, actually made off of it. So, You know, it is what it is. All right. And every day I'm still astonished. I'm 66 years old and I am totally astonished. It makes me like a kid every day. It's like it's Christmas morning. Every morning I come down there and I'm wanting to see what's underneath the tree. It's amazing. It blows my mind. All right. Where do we go from here? I think we did all the... Oh, we didn't even do Canadian, did we? Let's jump over to the Canadian. We'll look at the Canadian. Unless someone wants to see something, I'll go back to the rhythm. And I gladly stop and look at whatever else anybody wants to look at. Because, again, like middle age, you never know what will come out of it. We have no idea what someone will see that could lead us to something that no one is talking about. You just never know. Middle age just did it. He pulled the cherry out of it. Right there he is. He's got the cherry. He's like, yum. I got it. It's mine. He got the brass ring. Yes, he did. He's got the brass ring. Thank you, middle age, for bringing it up. All right, now here's Canadian. You can see the Canadian lifting up for the last couple of days. And you can see at the same time the weekly had tried to slide underneath. You can see it today. It's dancing, but it is in the plus again. So what we're going to do is we're going to erase those cute little red, pink dots. And you can see it's trying to lift up. We're getting some strength here. Closing the daily buy yesterday. It gave us somewhat of a... It's been trying for the last... Look at that's what's really funny. We didn't even get a red dot. The last couple of days it's been just throwing greens up there. It won't even give you the volatility signal. It's just lifting. It's just lifting up. And it just refuses to let go. And right there, So let's throw this in. Closed in a daily buy yesterday. It's in a weekly buy right here. And so, hence a good reason to be using binaries and options and so forth. Remember, if you're a trader at Dukascopy, they do use the binaries. They're good things. The longer, the better, And let's see what else we got going on here. I guess that's about it with the Canadian. So then what we do is we drift back over to the energy market, and I was mentioning that when we were looking at the gold, and here it is now. We're going to bring that up onto the screen. Usually when the Canadian is going up in value, and losing money against the dollar, oil is going down. And yesterday we did get into a sell, and you can look on the fact check spreadsheet. That's line 5. It has a 1 in it. But what they did is they closed they changed the parameters, the high and the low and the close and all like that. And they changed the parameters around overnight. So we have a volatility signal, and we have a volatility signal today, and it's still down. And you can see it's trying to go into the sell here now. It's trying. And you can see the weekly's lifting up. It's totally confused. Look at that. I mean, just the math is going in all over the direction, So went into this buy here, climbed into the weekly buy here, and we thought we were in a sell here. Then they changed the numbers on us. Then we thought we were in a sell here, and they changed the numbers on us. And maybe here it's going to do it, but we're in a weekly buy. So I mean, this is one of those things where they give up the money. That's that 1.5 that I talk about. We lose, 1 to 2 times out of 10. And we win 8 or 9 times out of 10. And this is it right there, traders. Right there. And for, what is that? 1, 2, 3. Let's put it this way. 3 volatility signals in 5 days. So, hell yeah, something's wacko going on, that's for sure. And we got to fix the weekly again, the daily again. Because it's what, 4 days in a buy now? Is that what it is? Let me just double check that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a buy. And it's going the wrong way and losing money. That's what happens. It just does that once in a while. What else is there to say about this? I guess not much more. Got to show the losses with the wins, right, traders? It's the way it always works. The P&L is the P&L in the end. All right, where else have we got to go? So now we've looked at that. We've looked at the 3 metals markets, and they're up for the day or flat for the day at this point. Let's just double check. So let's go to the gold again. Gold is unchanged for the day, or down a little bit for the day. We've got silver. Where's silver at? Right there. Down on the day. Or is that up for the day? Silver closed at, it's down on the day. So silver yesterday closed at 84, and right now it's trading at 74. So it's 10 cents down. And then platinum doing the same thing. So the three metals are heading down. So you would assume the South African rand is moving up. Now platinum closed yesterday at 19 and is trading now at basically 14. So it's about 5.5 points down. And then we jump over to the South African rand. We go back to the currency market, unless someone wants to see something. And then middle age, keep your eye open. I like that. You keep us straight around here. Let's see. Let's jump over to the South African rand. Hey, what would a webinar be if it wasn't truthful? You know, it would be garbage. It wouldn't be worth tuning into. All right, what do we got here? We got the South African rand is moving up, still firm, and it's actually challenging some of the highest closes over the last bunch of months, really, right? Last time it was up this area, you know, it was back here, back in the later part of July, and the last time before that was back in March. So we're seeing some, oh my God, is that more of the signal of a bear market to come in the metals complex, or is it Zuma, the former president of South Africa? What a thing to hide behind, you know? Who knows who, you know, what motivated Zuma and his people to start killing people and messing with this and hiding the fact that we're watching the South African rand move up? Is this a sign of the big bear market to come in the metals complex again? Oh, jeez. Drives me crazy when I think about it. So anyway, that's where we are there. And at the same time, aren't we seeing strength in the cryptos, right? And we've seen, let's go over to the cryptos. Where's the cryptos? No, okay, I'm sorry, machine. Didn't mean to do that to you. Let's go find the cryptos. Aren't we seeing crypto strength for like the last couple weeks? Which mouse is it? Oh, there it is, right there. All right, so let's go find Bitcoin. Right there. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, so I mean, over the same, as much as the South African, let's see if we can do this, and you can see both at the same time. Let's see. So put the South African rand on J4X against the dollar. Right there. And look at the Bitcoin. See the two? Let's see if we can move this up a little bit. How's that? Is that a little bit better? Can we get away with that? Let's see how that looks. I think that does it. Just go back and forth real quick. Look at that. You see it, right? So you can see South African rand making a bottom with the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin's going up in value. South African rand is losing value. The metals market has been losing value. Are we looking at another bear trap? Are they gonna just break the backs of these metals players? Like I said, Mr. Powell wants to be reelected to the Federal Reserve. You know, it's up to you to make that decision. I mean, you know, the audience here, the other traders. You know, what do you think? Are they going to clock the daylights out? And imagine this, right? I haven't even brought up the magical word inflation, right? Because the administration keeps on trying to tell us that it's not really real. So, you know, we're paying twice the amount we pay to fill up our automobiles. We're paying twice the amount at buying food and so forth here in the States now, or at least not twice, but, you know, 30% or 20% or something like that. You can see soybeans, wheat, and corn running through the roof. I mean, wheat has almost doubled or let's put it this way, it's gone up 50% in the last 2 months from the $5 area to the $7 area, or heading for the $8 area, right? And they're trying to tell us that there's no inflation. Right? And how are they trying to do it? They keep on saying the same thing over and over again. Look at gold, they say. You know, the administration keeps on saying, look at the metals market. It's not going anywhere. Oh, yeah? Then how come you're not willing to sell gold out of Fort Knox if it's not going anywhere? I mean, when people want it, shouldn't you sell it to them? It's so hard to buy physical. You know, remember Robin and I when we were out looking for 1,000 coins, you know, silver coins, and they were charging, I don't know, they were charging 28 or 29? Well, it was trading at 23. You know, like a 18% premium. Well, we call that a haircut on the trading floor. You know, we call that a haircut. So that is something to really take serious, you know. Something to definitely take serious. Yeah. All right. What else do we go look at? Let's see. Where else do we go? Now we go over to the ruble. Ruble's trying to firm up a little bit in here the last 2 days actually. You can see. It's underneath the weekly signal, so okay, not too bad. It's in a daily sell. Maybe it'll roll over one more time. It's probably getting pushed around by the strength of the dollar. Then let's see. We jump over to. Let's see. We did so. There's the yen, and the yen is trying to lift up, which is usually indicative of when the dollar is going up. You know, it's like the reverse of the Swiss thing going on. So yeah, we're seeing strength in the dollar there. And you can see we are in a weekly sell now for four full weeks at the moment. We still have to close out here. 3 full weeks and playing for a fourth. That's what it is. And a couple days in a sell. Then last but not least, we go over and we look at the Mexican peso. And I'm putting a little pop into that. We went to the weekly sell last week, and now we are flirting with the weekly buy. You can see that there, 0.0014. And so it's in the plus, so we can put one of those cute little things around it like that. There we are. So it's flirting with its buy. The daily is definitely hitching a ride on that one, showing some good strength in there. We'll see what kind of little hump comes out of this one, like we had here, and we had there, and then we had a really. Did we have a bigger one? Yeah, we had a nice bigger one here. Maybe it challenges this range here. Who knows? We'll see. Only time tells all on this stuff, you know. Then, what's next? Then, let's see. So we've done the 4 currencies again. So we're done the currency side of this, unless someone says, I'd like to see this, Doc, and then we'll go hunt it down and find it. And what else can I say about any of this, really? Time to go over to the stock indices. Another thing that Mr. Biden needs to keep up. So Mr. Powell will have to keep it up. And that's usually the name of the game around here. That is. Seriously, it's like, what? That's crazy. Crazy. So crazy. But that's the way it's going to go. He's not going to let it go. He's not. He just refuses. Just refuses. Okay. Now, let's see. Where do we go from here? The like I said, we're going to go over to. I want to close it out of that like that. So we'll close that. No, we'll just go down to it. Forget about it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the stocks on a Tesla level. like that. And change that to that. And there it is. So to start off with, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there on a Tesla level. There it is. You can see we're banging along the lows of the day. You know, the product is down 100, what's that, 193 points right there. See that right there? And it's off the lows. The low is 35,290, and we're trading right now at 35,341. So we're 51 points off the lows of the day. And you can see our math is turning up after it had turned down right there. And it went flaying down. Down she rolled. Where she stopped, only the math knows. We got a nice little volatility signal right there, going back to the lecture of how to read Doc's math. Right there. See it? Little volatility signal, and boom, up we went. And then you got a little volatility signal here, and boom, we went down. And a little two volatility signals right there, and boom, we went up. Our math turned up, we went up. So that's the action we're seeing there on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Then we drift over to the S&P 500, which I like to call the World Index, right there. And you can see the same type of action. Let's widen it out. S&P is it also flirting? Had flirted with the lows. You can see that there. It actually went and visited the lows of the London Open. That's the London Open right there. So they sold it down to the London Open, and when they do, they started buying it at the London Open. And they started selling it down again, but they couldn't take out the London low, or the overnight low. And then took it out right there. They did take out the overnight low there. And so now you can see the low is 4,446, and we're trading live at 4,449. So it's about 3 points higher. And as you can see, we went into a sell right there. You can see what happened. It went down. The math does that stuff. Especially when the green line is busting through the time manifold right there. Not forget about the zero line. Just when it breaks down there and we get red dots like this, it has a nice habit of breaking. Now in this case here, what is this? This is the intraday. So we're just looking at it in a Bollinger way over here, and we're looking at it in we're looking at one standard deviation of my math and a two standard deviation of my math. And you can see here, this is both of them are daily signals. That's why they're following each other perfectly. See the little curves the whole bit. And that's where it went into the sell right there. Right there. But look at it, it's already oversold now. It started to do it right at the beginning. And it doesn't seem like it has a lot of room, but we'll see. It's got to break through the time manifold on the upside now. That's how you read that, the standard deviation. Alrighty. Then, last but not least, now we're making more lows. That's cool. Alright, and last but not least, we look at the Tech 100, which we're going to throw up on Dukascopy also, because it has a different name than most realize. So we always definitely put that up there. But Dukascopy has both the Dow Jones right there, and it has the S&P 500 right there. And see, it says USA 500. And then it has the USA Tech. The USA Tech is the NQs, the NASDAQ 100. And right there, and at one Tesla. So let's see what the London Open looked like. It was around here. They made the same low again. Let's just move that over. So they knocked it down overnight, the Asian market. The Europeans started to buy it. Then it rolled over again, made more lows, much more lows compared to the other two. And now we are dragging the floor, making more new lows as we speak. You can see here we went into the sell right there. Got a little volatility signal right here, but nothing bullish about it. Just a volatility signal, another smack-a-doodle down. And it did it again here, 4 bars back. Another volatility signal. This time it did try to get through, but again, you can't take the long wide traders. because it was a red and a green. And now it's gliding at the lows of the day again. Down, down she goes. Where she stops, only the math knows. Alrighty, traders, what do you think? Should Doc go back to work? Maybe I'll go back to work, unless someone has a question. You have a question, I'll answer it. If not, Doc is going to go back to work. Yeah, look at that. More lows. Now, yesterday's low, I think, let's just do this. Let's take a look and see where yesterday's low was. Yesterday's low was 917.25. And right now we're trading at 980. So we got like 70 points to match up to that. And look at it, we're already doing it. Look, we had 2 volatility signals, and it's lifting. Watch her low. She's lifting. Not long, we'll see. We'll see if it holds up. Ooh, breaking down a little bit. Let's see. It's more lows, new lows. Watch them drop. See them trade. Watch them trade. And see how much more she breaks. Oop, look at that. Another volatility signal and a little more pop again. Let's see if we're going to get some little buyers in there. Oh, no. And that never got plus on that one. So we're still in the sell. Let's see if they can get plus there. Nope, another new low. And that's the action of it all, traders, live. This is Doc, live from North America, saying, Arrivederci. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, ta-ta for now.